Joined by head coach Derek Schaub and junior Carter McCracken. Guys, thanks so much for taking a little time, looking sharp in the LU attire as well.
Thanks for having us.
We'll go ahead and start off, and Coach, I guess this first one's for you. New conference, new season, NCAA for the second year now here, and what is the biggest difference between this new conference you're stepping into and the one that you were just competing in last season?
I think the biggest difference on the field is we got two teams right away that are both ranked in the top 10, so level of competition for us day in and day out will definitely increase this year and be a little bigger test for us. The other big thing for us with the conference is it's predominantly more of an East Coast conference, so I think it'll help us future-wise in recruiting, getting more exposure on the East Coast to some of those recruits out there, getting to see us play games.
Carter, when you look at this conference, for you as a player, it's still the same game, but is there a difference to you since some of these teams are from a different region? Does it affect the way you play?
We just have to bring our A game. There's no slacking off in this conference with like the firepower these teams have, so we just have to come to play every day as hard as we can for the whole game.
When you guys look at fall ball and you look at the practice you've had now coming up to the start of this season, what do you guys see, both of you can answer, that you're really excited about as far as strengths with your team?
I think from a coaching standpoint, the first thing you start at the defensive end, and in goal we've got a 1A and a 1B with Dan Ashlock. Be his senior year this year, and then Jake Redling-Schaefer, who came in last year. This will be his second year with the team, so we're real solid there that we can throw either goal in at either time, and then we've also got a third goalie who's very capable of stepping in and out of fury. So that would be our first strength, and then our defense this year, we've got a Division I transfer, Mike Mayer, that came in, and then Graham Hosick returning preseason all-conference. So we're real strong there, and then midfield, obviously we've got Carter returning along with his line, and we had a transfer that came in last year that redshirted last year that'll be stepping up on that first midi line this year, and then a real exciting freshman on the first line, John George. So I think our midfield and our defense will be our strengths. At attack, we don't have quite the depth that we'd like to have. Our starting attack will be great. It's just a matter of keeping them healthy. And I think if we can keep those guys healthy, we'll definitely have a good season.
Well, I see that through practices we have a great transition game. We got long sticks that can score. We got deep pulls that can carry. So we're looking probably to up the pace and just bang with the bigger teams, because that's how you score. That's how you put the ball in the net. So just go for it, I guess. That's the best we can do.
Carter, for you, you're here now, a junior, that's your status, and so that means a little bit maybe of an added leadership role, even from what it was before. For you, how do you approach that and make sure you're emphasizing certain things with the guys?
I just have to be a leader on the field, lead by action. Everybody has their own position and everything, so I just have to show everybody that we're here to win. We have to go hard every minute we're on the field, and every minute we're off the field in the gym or everything. So I'm just looking to push the guys and do good this season.
Last year, Coach, you all finished a game above 500, and you had a really strong run down the stretch, and clearly it's a new season, a new conference, so that doesn't matter all that much as far as wins and losses this year, but momentum-wise for you all, what does that do mentally knowing that you finished really strong?
I think it was huge, especially a couple of games late in the season where we played, predominantly top-ranked teams, and I think the fact that we showed that we can play with those teams, and I think going back, myself as a coach, some things I would have done differently. I'm sure some players, man, would have done this or that. Those games go either way. A couple of them that were 1-goal losses, it could have been a 1-goal win, or a 2 or 3-goal win. So I think it was huge for us the guys now know that, hey, we can play at this level in Division II. And I think that was huge. And then with the addition of some of the guys coming in this year, I think we feel we're even a step further this year than where we were at the end of last year. A lot of times you want to compare your team, and it's tough to compare your team, in February, because you're comparing to where you were in May of last year. But when I look at our team in February versus where we were in February last year, I think we're definitely a couple steps ahead, and I think right now we're a step ahead of where we were in May of last year. So I'm very excited to get on the field and get playing some games and see how everything comes together.
Last year you were all a really strong second half team, 74 second half goals, 55 in the first half. Being so good in that back half of the game, how important is that for you all to do again this year?
Well, I think it's huge confidence-wise for the players. we talked about it last year, and I think they knew every game we stepped on the field, not knowing talent level, what the other team may have versus what we have, how we stack up there, but we always knew we were better conditioned than any team we played, and I think it showed in the statistics that you just mentioned there, and I think it's a huge confidence boost for the guys that if we do fall behind by a couple goals, there's no panic. We know we're okay. We know we're capable of scoring 6, 7, 8 goals in the last 10 minutes of a game if we need to. So I think it's good that it helps in that if we do fall behind, we don't fall into that panic mode. As well as on the other end of the spectrum, if we do jump out by a few, hey, we're up by a couple goals, and now we can just run all day on this team and really put the pressure on them.
Gentlemen, thank you so much.